All right, so let's dive into this idea of manifestation.
Okay.
You know, it's one of those things that's kind of out there. But
Yeah.
you shared this YouTube video with us.
Hmm.
It's a conversation between Sarah and Jason.
Right.
And they kind of tackle this whole idea of manifestation from opposite sides.
Yeah, it's funny. You have Sarah, who's like a true believer
Right.
in the power of manifestation.
Yeah.
And then you have Jason, who's coming at it
Yeah.
with, a healthy dose of skepticism.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's kind of a dynamic
Mhm.
that a lot of people can relate to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't want to just shape their reality by just thinking about it?
Right.
But then, there's also that part of me that's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this just wishful thinking?
Right.
The fancy label?
Is it just like, the power of positive thinking repackaged?
Yeah.
Jason actually brings that up in the video.
Okay.
He's worried that it makes it sound like you can just think your problems away.
Right. And if it were that easy,
Totally.
we'd all be living our dream life.
Exactly. We'd all be billionaires.
Exactly. So how does Sarah address that?
Well, she's really quick to point out that it's not about passive wishing.
Okay.
It's about aligning your thoughts with your actions. So you're not just daydreaming.
Okay.
You're actively creating the conditions for your goals to materialize.
Okay. I'm listening. I'm not totally convinced yet.
Sure.
But I'm willing to hear her out.
Right.
So Jason, he brings up this point that I think a lot of us can relate to.
Yeah.
Which is, if you want something, you have to work for it.
Right. You got to put in the work.
So is this just common sense repackaged?
That's a good question, and I think that's really at the heart of it.
Okay.
You know what manifestation really is?
Yeah.
Sarah talks about it as a mindset shift,
Okay.
one that helps you recognize opportunities you might otherwise miss.
Okay.
It's tuning your radar to those chances
Got it.
that align with your goals.
Yeah. So it's not just sitting back and letting the universe
Right.
magically drop things in your lap.
Exactly.
Okay.
But, even then,
Yeah.
even with that understanding,
Mm.
Jason pushes back a little bit and calls it a shortcut.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, is it really that easy?
And Sarah, again, she tackles that head on.
Okay.
She explains that it's about training your mind, just like an athlete trains their body.
Okay.
It's about discipline, focus, awareness.
Yeah.
To seize those opportunities as they come your way.
So I'm starting to see this theme of action being really crucial to this whole process.
It is.
It's not just about thinking the right thoughts.
No, it's not just like a magic spell.
Okay. But I am hearing this theme of positive thinking.
Yeah.
So can you unpack that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So Sarah, she links positive thinking to confidence
Okay.
and that willingness to take those necessary steps towards your goals.
Okay.
And she uses this really compelling example from her own life.
Yeah.
She talks about starting her own business.
I think I remember that part.
Yeah.
Was it an online bakery?
It was an online bakery.
Yeah, she faced a lot of challenges.
She did.
Like getting ingredients and marketing and all that.
sourcing those ingredients,
Yeah.
marketing online.
And she didn't give up.
She didn't give up.
It sounded like she really believed in it.
She had that vision,
Yeah.
and she saw it through,
Yeah, even when things got tough.
even when things got tough.
So she wasn't just waiting around.
Right.
She was actively creating opportunities.
Exactly. She was taking action.
Okay. That makes sense. But even with all the preparation
Right.
and the positive outlook,
Mm-hmm.
there are going to be setbacks.
Oh, for sure.
Life happens.
Life happens.
So how does manifestation account for that?
Well, that's where the idea of resilience comes in.
Okay.
And Sarah explains that setbacks, they're not failures.
Okay.
They're learning opportunities.
I like that.
It's about responding constructively to challenges, adapting your approach, and persevering.
So it's not about avoiding failure.
No, it's part of the process.
It's about using those experiences
Right.
to your advantage
To learn and grow.
and keep moving forward.
Exactly.
This is giving me a lot to think about.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and it seems like there's a framework emerging here
Yeah.
with these key ingredients.
Yeah. What would you call them?
Well, we've got the mindset,
The mindset.
we've got the action, and
Yeah.
we've got that resilience.
The resilience, the ability to bounce back.
Yeah, so let's call those the 3 pillars of manifestation.
I like that.
Yeah.
The 3 pillars of manifestation.
So it's not just about wishing. It's about cultivating a specific mindset,
Absolutely.
taking concrete action,
Yes.
and bouncing back from those challenges.
Yeah, it's a dynamic process.
It is.
Requires inner work and outward effort.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating how those 3 pillars,
Right.
mindset, action, resilience,
Yeah.
they all work together.
Yeah.
You can't just have the mindset
Right.
without the action.
You got to do something.
You got to take those steps.
Yeah.
And even if you're taking action,
Yeah.
if you don't have that resilience,
Mm.
you're going to give up at the first hurdle.
Right. You're going to hit a roadblock.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, so they're all interconnected.
Yeah, they all support each other.
It's like a three-legged stool.
Right, exactly.
You need all three legs to be stable.
Okay, so we've got this framework now.
Right.
But how do we actually,
Yeah.
put it into practice?
Put it into practice.
Where
Right.
do we even begin?
Well, Sarah mentions in the video,
Okay.
even something as simple as writing down your goals
Okay.
could be a powerful first step.
So just getting it out of your head.
Out of your head onto paper.
And making it real.
Making it concrete.
So even just that physical act of writing
Yes.
can make a difference.
Absolutely. It's like a commitment.
Okay.
You're solidifying those intentions
I see.
and setting those wheels in motion.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal here.
Right. Good.
But what about those times,
Yeah.
when we hit those inevitable roadblocks?
Right. Those bumps in the road.
Yeah, and that self-doubt creeps in.
Uh-huh.
How do we stay on track?
Yeah. How do you maintain that mindset
Yeah, with the manifestation mindset.
when things get tough?
When things get tough, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's where the power of belief really comes in.
Okay.
Sarah talks about how believing in yourself,
Yeah, okay.
even when things are challenging,
Mm-hmm.
is crucial.
Yeah, but easier said than done.
Easier said than done, right?
Not everybody's naturally optimistic.
Not everyone's like a little ray of sunshine
Right.
walking around.
So how do we cultivate that belief?
Well, Sarah suggests incorporating what she calls mindset practices.
Okay.
Things like affirmations,
Okay.
visualization,
Mm-hmm.
gratitude exercises.
Okay.
It's about actively shaping your internal dialogue.
So you're not just thinking positive thoughts.
Yeah.
You're training your brain to default to positivity. Exactly. You're creating a foundation of self-belief
Okay.
that supports you even when you face setbacks.
And speaking of setbacks.
Yes. Let's talk about those bumps in the road.
Right, because life
Life rarely goes according to plan.
never goes according to plan.
So how do we deal with those curveballs
Right.
while still holding on to our goals?
Because things happen.
Things happen.
Plans change.
Right. Yeah.
How do we stay flexible without losing sight
Yeah. How do you adapt?
of what we're trying to manifest?
Right. And that's where that resilience pillar comes in.
Okay.
Sarah really emphasizes that manifestation isn't about avoiding failure.
Okay.
It's about how you respond to it.
Hmm.
It's about learning from your mistakes,
Okay.
adjusting your course,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping moving forward.
So embracing those detours,
Yes,
knowing that they might lead to unexpected discoveries.
exactly. Sometimes you end up somewhere even better
Right.
than you initially planned.
But how do you know
That's a great question.
when to adjust your approach?
Versus when to just keep pushing forward.
When to pivot? When to persevere?
Yeah.
It's a balance
Yeah.
of intuition and self-awareness.
Okay.
Sometimes you need to reevaluate your goals,
Okay.
refine your strategies,
Mm-hmm.
or even seek support from others.
So being honest with yourself,
Yes.
recognizing when you need to make a change,
Right.
and being open to asking for help.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm really starting to see how these three pillars
Yeah.
work together.
They're all interconnected.
But what about those times when we feel like we're just spinning our wheels?
Yeah. You're putting in the effort,
Yeah.
but you're not seeing the results.
Yeah. How do we know if we're on the right track?
Right. Are we on the right path?
Or if we're just chasing a pipe dream?
Are we barking up the wrong tree?
Yeah.
That's where it's important
Okay.
to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Oh, I like that.
Those little victories
Yeah.
can fuel your motivation
Yeah.
and remind you that progress is being made,
Even if it's not always obvious.
even if it's not a giant leap forward.
Right.
It's those small steps.
So acknowledging your efforts and recognizing how far you've come,
Absolutely.
even if you're not at the finish line yet.
Even if you haven't reached that ultimate goal.
But what about those big, audacious goals?
Right. The big, hairy, audacious goal.
Ones that seem almost impossible.
Yeah, the ones that feel so far out of reach.
Yeah. How do we maintain that belief?
How do you hold on to that vision
Yeah, when the finish line seems so far away.
when it feels like you'll never get there?
Yeah.
That's where breaking down those goals
Okay.
into smaller, manageable steps
Right.
becomes crucial.
So it's about chunking it down,
Chunking it down.
focusing on the next step,
Yeah.
rather than getting overwhelmed by the enormity of it all.
Exactly. You don't want to get paralyzed
Right.
by the sheer size of the goal.
Yeah, that makes it feel less daunting.
It does. It makes it feel more achievable.
And that sense of momentum
Right.
that you get from achieving those smaller goals.
It's like a snowball effect.
Yeah, I love that.
Each small success builds upon the last,
Yeah,
propelling you toward that ultimate objective.
that's such a powerful concept.
Yes.
That idea of momentum.
It's like a train.
Right.
Once it gets going,
Yeah.
It's hard to stop.
It makes me think about how, like,
Yeah.
one person's determination can inspire others.
It's true.
To pursue their own goals.
It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
One person's positive energy.
It's a beautiful thought.
It is.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
Not every goal we set is going to come to fruition.
Not every dream is going to come true.
So how do we handle those moments?
Yeah.
When our dreams don't manifest?
When things don't go according to plan.
As we had hoped.
Right.
How do we deal with those disappointments?
How do you pick yourself up?
Yeah.
Dust yourself off?
Without getting discouraged.
Just keep going.
And giving up altogether.
All right, yeah. That's where resilience comes in again.
Yeah.
And self-compassion and a willingness to reevaluate.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that sometimes the journey takes unexpected turns.
Right.
And that our goals may evolve over time.
So being flexible.
Yes.
Adapting to changing circumstances.
Right.
And recognizing that setbacks don't define us.
They don't. They're just part of the journey.
They're just part of the journey. It's about learning from those experiences.
Absolutely.
And using them to refine our approach.
To get back on track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. This has been quite the deep dive.
It has.
We started out
a little skeptical.
Maybe
a lot.
Yeah, but I'm starting to see how this whole manifestation thing could actually be pretty powerful.
I think so too.
Yeah. And what's great is that it doesn't require like some big secret knowledge.
No magic rituals.
Right.
No special crystals.
Yeah, it's really about...
It's about taking action.
Taking action.
And having the right mindset.
And being resilient.
Right, those 3 pillars.
Yeah. And Sarah really emphasizes that in the video.
She does.
She talks about how even small actions can create a ripple effect.
She uses that analogy of the pebble in the pond.
Right.
That one small action creates these expanding rings.
Yeah, and I love that.
It's a great visual.
Because it reminds us that we don't have to wait for the perfect moment.
You don't need the perfect plan.
Or to have it all figured out.
You just start.
Right, we can start right now.
With whatever you have.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest takeaways here.
I agree.
It's not about perfection. It's about progress.
Absolutely.
It's about showing up consistently.
Even when it's hard.
Yeah, even when you don't feel like it.
When you'd rather stay in bed.
Exactly. And trusting that those small steps will get you there.
They will, eventually.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. So being patient with the process.
Right.
But also persistent in our efforts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that balance.
It's a dance.
Of effort and allowing.
It's a certain surrender.
Right, we're putting in the work.
You got to do your part.
But we're also letting go.
Trusting the timing.
Of the need to control every little thing.
Of the universe.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has been fascinating.
And it's all thanks to you. You're welcome for sharing this conversation between Sarah and Jason.
They were great.
They were. And you know what I think it's important to remember? That there's no one-size-fits-all approach to this.
Absolutely.
What works for Sarah
might not work for Jason.
Might not work for Jason.
Or for you, or for me.
Right. The key is to find what resonates with you.
Experiment.
And
adapt as you go.
Yeah. Find your own path.
Your own unique path.
So I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
Manifestation is a personal journey.
It is.
So before we go, I have one final question for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Dear listener.
Okay.
If manifestation is about aligning your actions with your thoughts.
What's one small step you can take today?
Right now.
To start moving towards a goal.
A goal you've been putting off.
Like you've been putting off.
Maybe it's writing it down.
Yeah.
Maybe it's visualizing yourself achieving it. Maybe it's taking that first tiny step.
Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
What will yours be?
What will yours be?